Hey, you wild women! Renee here for another wild take. Today, I want to talk to you really quickly. I say that all the time. Whenever I say really quickly, it ends up being longer than I thought. Anyway, just like when I go out for dinner and I say I'm not getting dessert, is always the night I get dessert. So I want to talk to you about the Pink Skirt Project, not necessarily as a motivation for you to go and get a ticket if you don't already have one for the event that's coming up in less than a month at the time of this recording. But I want to give you the story behind the pink skirt. I want to give you the story behind why this started, because how I'm bringing this to light is kind of the reason for you being in that room. So the pink skirt. Well, where do I begin? It's first of all, the event is June 12th in Kelowna, BC. If you're a longtime listener, you know that. But if you're new, hello, I'm Renee Warren, the founder of the Pink Skirt Project, which is more of a movement than it is an event. But it is starting with a one-day event that I'm just so stoked to host. Also really nervous and scared and excited and all the things, all the emotions. But I want to tell you the story of the pink skirt. People keep asking. And I think I have the time right on these. Rewind back to 2017. I'm going out for dinner with a bunch of girlfriends and we're going around the table answering the question, what does success look like to you? To some, that could mean things, trips, you name it. But for me in that moment, it was like a very clairvoyant download of what success was to me. And it was an image of me wearing a bright pink skirt, standing on a stage in front of thousands of women, I think female entrepreneurs, getting a standing ovation. But it had nothing to do with something that I did, but something to do that we did as a collective. I don't know what that was. I don't know if it was me supposed to go on a speaking tour, become a professional speaker, or start a nonprofit, but it was a very quick download. And immediately I thought it was an meant community. So I shared my story. Fast forward to 2019, I go to an event in Palm Springs called the Alt Summit. And part of this is it's a massive summit with like 1,200 people across 2 or 3 different locations in Palm Springs. And I was inspired not by the community, not so much by the community or the events or like the fashion people and the creatives and the influencers, but also by the retro feel of Palm Springs. If you've ever been, you know, there's a lot of neon signs and like flamingos. It's really cool. But I remember being a part of this community, and this event in particular was fashion shows. There were designers there putting on fashion shows. And at the time, I was there with my friend Ange, and I grabbed her and like, let's go to this fashion show. She sat next to me and she's like high-fiving the models coming down the runway. And one of the first models that comes around the corner and starts walking down the runway is wearing the pink skirt of my vision, almost to a T. It's like I had just clairvoyantly sent the image of this pink skirt to the designer. Her name is Amanda Perna. The label is House of Perna. And it kind of froze me. I was like, that's the pink skirt. Oh my gosh, that's it. This is crazy. So I tell the story and I leave and I forget about the pink skirt. And while all of this is happening, I'm in the process of, have a PR company, and then I'm coaching female entrepreneurs, and then I'm dabbling back into PR. I'm lost. I'm in a season where I feel just absolutely lost. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know where my passion lies. I'm exhausted. But I figured if I just dabble and I keep myself busy, I will figure this out. So I tell the story to other women. And at one point, one of my friends asked me, well, did you buy the skirt? And I thought, that's absurd. Why would I go and invest that? I think it was like $400 US at the time. Why would I buy a skirt like that for that much money? Where would I even wear it? And so she convinced me to buy it. And when it came in, I opened it up and it was almost like just a beautiful gift. But also it ended up becoming a gentle reminder that I had to do something with it. So I hung it up in my closet, kind of facing out so that when I walked into my closet, it was the first thing that I saw. It was a reminder that there's this thing, there's this desire. God is giving you this message, this symbol to do something with this. And it wasn't clear. Now, I grew up in a world of having a plan for everything. I'm married to a man who's like, what's the 10-year plan for this? What's the vision for this pink skirt? And I was unsure. And so I was so scared to even like think what conceptually, what impact can the idea of a pink skirt even be? I don't even know. So we went down this path of it becoming I worked with my friend Anna, and we were going to, conceive this idea of a documentary or a mini series. So we started talking to producers, and we found this really great producer out of Toronto, and we were going to put together some sort of documentary or television show that we were going to pitch to Netflix or Apple or Amazon. And it didn't feel right. The opportunity was there. Even the production company was like, yeah, this is something. And like, let's start like mapping out what this looks like. It didn't feel right. My gut was saying, this isn't it, at least not right now, Renee. It's something else. And so I kind of put that on the shelf, and I said, maybe one day I'll come back to that, but it's just not right. I don't know. And I had done like full photo shoots, and we had interviewed people on reality TV to get their 2 cents about what it's like to be on reality TV, to get their 2 cents on how we can conceptualize what this would even become. And there was a lot to dig into, but I was like, nope, this isn't it. And I thought, it's a community first. It's an event. You know what? Let's make it an event. We'll do a 1-day summit. It's going to be so much fun. This way I can just sit in the energy of that room with incredible women, incredible speakers, and have an amazing day and figure it out as I go. Here's what I learned in that process is that if you have passion and drive for something you're really interested in and such conviction to bring it to life, you don't have to know every step of the way. I genuinely believe that the path will reveal itself every step you take. It's not going to just show up in entirety. It's going to show up for the meter or the mile that you need to see. So I started taking the first steps. And one of them was finding a partner to go in on this with, because I knew I didn't want to do it alone. Finally found somebody. The next step was finding a venue. And the venue was so important to me, because it had to have the right energy, the right kind of feeling and vibe inside. Remember, like the neon lights and like the exposed brick. There's a place in Kelowna, BC called the Metro. Now, I have a vested interest in the success of this place because we helped contribute to the funding of the renovations and kind of bringing this new evolution of the Metro to light. But I knew it had to be in there. So when I walked in there and I was walking around the venue with Penny, who is our contact at the space, I asked her, what is the capacity of this space theater style? And she said, well, you can get up to 350 people in this room. So I said, great, I'm going to sell 350 tickets, thinking that can't be hard, right? Your first time, you're like super naive doing stuff. Well, we're a month out, and I have such mad respect for people who run big events as almost like a sales funnel to the thing that they actually offer. I'm only doing that and my podcast. And even that's full time. It's crazy. So anyway, we're going through the motions, and it had to be called something cool. And like the Pink Skirt Project was the name, because that's what we kind of came up with during our days of figuring out if this was going to be a mini series or a documentary. And here's what it is to date. And I want this to land on you to know that it's not just an event. It's a movement. The whole idea is that I'm collectively creating a safe space for women and female entrepreneurs to come and share their stories, give advice, be cheerleaders for each other. The idea is that we're all defining our lives. We're creating the lives that we want based on our own terms, not on what is expected of us. So initially, the Pink Skirt Project is a transformative summit where ambitious women come to redefine entrepreneurship, success on their own terms, while integrating success with well-being, with authenticity, with ambition, and creating meaningful connections that extend beyond a single event. The idea is that together we will all rise. The Pink Skirt Project isn't just another business event. It's a transformative experience that I've designed specifically for women entrepreneurs who are ready to break through their next level or break away from bad habits and surround themselves with a community of cheerleaders. It's a movement. It's redefining female leadership and what it means to be a high performer and business owner. It's kind of like we're all coming together to rebel against hustle culture and championing work-life integration because we believe that business success should thrive not in spite of your values, but because of them. We can be successful as an entrepreneur, as mothers, as partners, as community members, because we're following our passion, our path, not because, well, if the code was written that to be considered a successful entrepreneur, you need to have 50% profit margins and making $10 million a year, then the majority of us will fail. And let's look at failure in terms of maybe bumps in the road and not some massive, colossal disaster because we're pursuing something that we actually don't want to pursue. So what makes this movement, which makes this day unique and different, is that we are creating an intimate, interactive experience focused on authenticity and building businesses that align with core values, your core values. It's not about following someone else's blueprint. It's about creating success on your terms. And that feels good to me. So I will honestly say that I don't know what I'm doing, but I do. I do believe in God and source, and I do believe that I'm being called to do this. I also believe that there are women who almost see this vision more than I do because I've had these micro moments where women have shared their stories on Instagram and I said, that's it. You got it. And I didn't even know. They were teaching me what the Pink Skirt Project was. So why the pink skirt? Well, the pink skirt, it represents a few things. It symbolizes the collective stories, dreams, and experiences of women entrepreneurs rising together. As a symbol, you think about this pink skirt, it embodies a few things. It embodies the wins and losses, the unconventional paths that we take as women in business, challenging traditional boundaries and creating new possibilities. It's the courage to stand out and be seen, even as in your bright skirt, because it demands attention. It is about the support that we give each other, like a circle of skirts swirling together in celebration of each other's achievements. Now, if you follow me on social media and you follow the Pink Skirt Project on Instagram, you'll see that we did a flash mob about a month ago in Kelowna where we had 25, 30 women come out in pink skirts and we just walked down the streets of Kelowna and we had drone cameras and it was so much fun. And you know what? Even just that handful of women was enough to feel so empowered. I got so many messages afterwards and we were just walking and dancing. We weren't doing anything other than that. And they turned to me and they said, imagine a room of 300 women in pink skirts. It's like, Renee, you're handing out the armor. And that's what the pink skirt is. It's not only just the collection of the stories of our triumphs, of our successes and failures and the things that we desire and the things we've achieved. It's also your armor. You put the pink skirt on because it makes you feel empowered. It's also your parachute. Think about it. Jump off a cliff wearing your pink skirt. It's going to ease you down to earth. It's a parachute in the sense that if you need to pull the ripcord, you feel safe because knowing that you're surrounded by this community, by these experts, by these people that are cheerleading you. How I knew I was on the right path was like, it's the baby steps. And I'm saying all this to encourage you to consider the things that you're passionate about as well, and how you don't need to have a massive plan. You don't need to have your P&Ls dialed in and your sales projections dialed in when you're first starting. Sometimes it's just about taking that first step and really not knowing what you're doing. Because I wake up every day and I'm like, guys, I don't know what I'm doing, but let's make today great. Coming back to these direct messages I was getting over social, And one that was just so beautiful and clear for me was this woman who said, today's a pink skirt day. I put on my pink skirt because I have a day of meetings with a bunch of men and I know it's going to be challenging and I want to feel feminine and empowered at the same time. And she took a picture of herself in the pink skirt. I knew that was what it was, not because I created it, because she reflected back to me the energy, the motivation, the inspiration that I'm trying to breathe into other women. And then from that transpired the idea of the pink skirt moment. Again, go to the Pink Skirt Project on Instagram and you'll see some of the stories we're sharing of a woman's pink skirt moment, which is like the moment where you feel like you've made it, where you've achieved something, where you've achieved greatness, even if it was as big as having your product on a retailer shelf or as small as launching your podcast or hiring a cleaning lady. The pink skirt moment is a moment where you're like, holy crap, I dreamed of this when I was 18 years old. The pink skirt is both personal and universal. It represents every woman's individual story while connecting all our narratives into one powerful movement of a collective rising. Just as each woman might style a pink skirt differently, each entrepreneur brings her unique vision to the business world, yet we're all connected by our shared journey and determination to succeed on our own terms. And beyond all this, it represents the armor that we put on days that are going to be really tough or are really tough. And so here's my formal invitation, if you haven't already done so, to come out to this one-day powerful event on June 12th, 2025 in Kelowna, BC, the Pink Skirt Project. Come with your pink skirt or not. Come wearing whatever empowers you. I know that some women that are coming in pinks or purple suits, and some women that absolutely despise pink, wouldn't be caught dead in it, aren't coming, or aren't wearing a pink skirt. That's okay. It is about the energy that we bring into this room, because you're walking into a room of 350 cheerleaders that are ready to help you get to your next level. And I am so excited to watch you grow. So go to thepinkskirtproject.com, thepinkskirtproject.com, get your tickets. If you're out of town, book your flights or fuel up your car and get your hotel or your Airbnb, because it is going to be a day to remember. Until next time, ladies, peace out.